Hi, so I'm going to continue to answer the questions related to mental health treatment. Some of them overlap, so I just grouped them together. And the first question is related to confidentiality. So I'll just go through and read those, and then I'll just answer the individual questions within that set. Is therapy confidential? How confidential is my information, and what are the parameters of confidentiality? Who has access to my records? If I pay cash, will that prevent the information from being visible? Does that help in lieu of the paper trail with insurance? So therapy is confidential. However, there are some limits to the confidentiality. And by confidential, I mean that a therapist cannot just go out and share your information with someone without your written consent. So there are some instances where there's a limit to the confidentiality. One is if there's a safety concern. So if you tell your therapist that you're planning to do something to hurt yourself, or you're planning to do something to hurt somebody else, or if you tell them about child abuse that's going on or elder abuse, then that information has to be reported in order to try to ensure everybody's safety. Another time where there's a limit to the confidentiality is if you use your insurance to pay for therapy. The insurance companies, they do have the right to have access to some of your information. Oftentimes, well, at least in my experience, insurance companies will ask for a diagnosis and a treatment plan, and not typically for the specifics of the sessions, but it is something to be aware of that that can happen, and that insurance companies do have the right to have access to your information. So a question on here actually relates to paying out of pocket with cash versus using your insurance. So obviously, if you pay cash, then your insurance company does not have a right to that information. There is another time where there may be a limit to the confidentiality, and that is if there's a court order requesting that those records be released. So I hope that answers the question and helps you better understand the confidentiality and where there may be some limits to that. The next question is, how do I even begin? How do I find a therapist? Are you open on weekends? How do I find out what they specialize in? How should I go about choosing a specialized therapist? And basically, what do I look for? And when would be the best time to contact a therapist? Okay, so all of these questions are not the exact same, but there is some overlap. So how do you begin to find a therapist? So if you want to use your insurance, and your insurance covers mental health treatment or behavioral health treatment, then you can start there. You can call the insurance company and they will give you some names of therapists in your area, or you can look in the directory. Usually there's an online directory that you can access that will let you know what therapists are in your area, and typically it will let you know if they are accepting new clients as well. And so that's one way if you're using insurance and you want to go through that directory. There's also a great website called psychologytoday.com, where many therapists actually they have a profile listing there. And so if you go there, it's just like looking through your insurance company directory. You know, put the parameters in as far as like location, if you're looking for somebody that is a certain gender, or if you're looking for somebody that specializes in a certain area. Typically, people will list their specialties there as well. So that's one way that you can find out what people specialize in. Also, with insurance companies, a lot of times they will give the option for therapists to list the areas that they specialize in. So, so then you can do that. Go to psychologytoday.com and find a therapist there. Another option is therapy for Black girls. It's called, I think the website is therapyforblackgirls.com. So you can go there. They have a therapy directory, and the people who have chosen to list themselves there are people who are saying that their target population is Black girls, Black women. Another way that you can find a therapist is to go to the website of a nonprofit organization called Open Path Collective Psychotherapy. And this agency contracts with therapists in different areas around the country. And these therapists have agreed to provide low-cost therapy ranging from $30 to $60 per session for individual therapy, and it goes up to $80 for couples therapy or family therapy. So that's another option, and it's openpathcollective.org. Okay. See, did I get all of those? When would be the best time to contact a therapist? That really depends on you. So if you're feeling like you're really struggling with how to manage your day-to-day tasks, then that might be the time to start. Even before then, you don't have to wait. Sometimes people come in just if they're going through some transition, just to help sort things out. And so that really is an individualized choice as to when you should contact a therapist. This is Dr. Melissa Green, licensed psychologist. I hope this has been helpful. Take care.